Imagine a man, let's call him John, living his life entirely in a skyscraper, never stepping foot outside. Now, John isn't confined to this skyscraper in any physical sense. There are no locks on the doors, no guards keeping him in. But he's been living in this glass and steel monolith since he was a child. And he's become comfortable, complacent even, in his familiar surroundings. This skyscraper is a world unto itself, with shops, restaurants, and even a gym. Everything he needs is right here. He's got a job in one of the offices, and he spends his free time scrolling through social media, watching the news on his flat-screen TV, and chatting with his friends who also live and work in the skyscraper. In this modern age, John's skyscraper is his cave. The walls of this cave aren't rough stone, but smooth glass, and the shadows on the wall aren't cast by a fire, but by the blue light of his computer screen. John's reality is shaped by the shadows in his cave, the images and information that flicker across his screens. He watches the news and believes he understands the world outside. He scrolls through social media and thinks he knows what people are like, what they think, what they feel. But all he's really seeing are the shadows, the distorted representations of reality. John's understanding of the world is based on second-hand information, on the manipulation of images and words. His perception of reality is shaped not by his own experiences, but by the interpretations and biases of others. The skyscraper, his cave, shelters him from the complexity and uncertainty of the outside world. It's a comfortable illusion, a safe and predictable existence. But it's not real. It's not the whole picture, it's just shadows on a wall. But what happens when John finally steps out of the skyscraper? Stepping outside, John experiences the world in its raw, unfiltered form. A cavalcade of sensations bombard him. The sun's warmth, the wind's caress, the earth's solid embrace beneath his feet. Everything is a stark contrast to the sterile, climate-controlled environment of the skyscraper. It's a feast of reality, a banquet of existence that he had been oblivious to his entire life. John is like a newborn, seeing the world for the first time. The skyscraper, his former home, now looms over him like a monolith of deception. The world outside is not the chaotic, dangerous place he had been led to believe. Instead, it's teeming with life, vibrant and pulsating with an energy that the skyscraper couldn't replicate. His journey of discovery doesn't come without its challenges. The harsh glare of the sun hurts his eyes, accustomed to the dim artificial lights. The unpredictability of the wind and the rain unnerves him. But with each passing day he learns to embrace these elements, seeing them not as threats but as vital parts of an authentic existence. John's previous beliefs crumble like a house of cards. The skyscraper, the walls, the screens, all illusions, a fabricated reality that kept him and his peers complacent and disconnected from the world. The realization is profound, like a lightning bolt to his consciousness. Emboldened, John decides to share his revelations with those still trapped inside the skyscraper. He speaks of the sun, the wind, the earth, of life and existence beyond the screens. He speaks passionately, hoping to awaken in them the same hunger for truth that now consumes him. However, the task is not easy. His words are met with skepticism, disbelief, even hostility. The skyscraper dwellers are so entrenched in their beliefs that they cannot fathom a reality beyond what they know. They mock John, label him a madman, an outcast, but John perseveres. He continues to share his knowledge, his experiences, his newfound understanding of the world. He hopes that one day they too will step outside and see the world for what it truly is. But how does the world react to John's revelations? Back in the skyscraper, John's tales of the outside world are met with disbelief and ridicule. You see, John's fellow dwellers, conditioned to the fluorescent bulbs and the buzzing of their screens, couldn't fathom a world where light came from a burning, celestial body. John's stories of the wind's caress, the bird's song, and the scent of fresh rain were met with laughter, each tale more absurd than the last. These skyscraper dwellers, trapped in their own echo chamber, chose to cling to their existing beliefs, their version of reality. After all, it's easier to reject new ideas that challenge what we know. How could they accept John's tales of a world so alien, so different from their own? The thought was frightening, unsettling. It was easier to label John as a fool, a dreamer lost in his own fantasies. And yet John didn't falter. He knew the truth. He had tasted the sweet nectar of knowledge, and there was no going back. But the more he tried to convince them, the more they pushed him away. John was now an outsider in his own home, a stranger among his own people. His stories were dismissed as ramblings, his wisdom shrugged off as madness. The skyscraper dwellers chose the comfort of their ignorance over the discomfort of the truth. And so, John is left to question, is ignorance truly bliss? The Allegory of the Cave, a tale as old as time, yet still relevant in today's world. The story's essence lies not in the individual's journey from the dark cave to the bright outside world, but rather in his transformation. It's in the shift from ignorance to enlightenment, from accepting the shadows on the wall as reality to questioning and seeking the truth. In our modern context, the cave symbolizes the comfort of familiar beliefs, while the outside world represents the discomfort of challenging those beliefs. John's journey is a metaphor for our own as we navigate the vast sea of information and misinformation in our digital age. The danger lies not in the darkness of the cave, but in refusing to step out of it. It's in choosing to remain ignorant, in accepting the shadows as reality without question. So next time you find yourself in John's shoes, will you choose to step outside, or will you seek comfort in the cave?